Daniel had just begun his part-time job as a pizza delivery boy. The small town of Crestwood was quiet and uneventful, making his job seem like a breeze. But one fateful night, an order came in that would forever change his perception of the night. It was a stormy evening, rain pelting against the windows of the pizzeria. The phone rang, breaking the monotony of the empty shop. Daniel answered, jotting down the details of the order. A large pepperoni pizza with extra cheese, and it had to be delivered to a remote cabin at the edge of the forest. The caller's voice was soft, but held an odd undertone, like a whisper carried by the wind. As he set out, the rain intensified, making the drive treacherous. The cabin's location was marked on the GPS, but as Daniel followed the winding path, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The forest was dense, the trees looming like shadowy sentinels. The cabin's isolation sent a chill down his spine. Finally, the cabin came into view. Its windows were shrouded in darkness, and a single flickering light glowed from within. Daniel parked the car and grabbed the pizza box, his heart racing in anticipation. He knocked on the door, and after a tense moment, it creaked open. A woman stood before him, her eyes dark and unreadable. She was young, with long disheveled hair that framed her pale face. She gave Daniel a cold smile, and he noticed a glint of something metallic in her hand. "Finally," she said, her voice like a melody laced with something sinister. "I've been waiting." Daniel's unease deepened, but he offered the pizza with a nervous smile. "Here's your order. That'll be $15.50. She took the pizza but made no move to hand over payment. Instead, her gaze remained fixed on him, her smile never wavering. "I have a better idea. How about you join me for dinner?" Daniel's heart pounded. The situation was growing stranger by the second. He forced a chuckle. "Sorry, ma'am. I've got other deliveries to make. If you could just pay for the pizza." Her smile widened, revealing a hint of madness. "Oh, but you don't understand. You're the main course, my dear delivery boy." Fear gripped Daniel's chest. He took a step back, his mind racing. The woman's intentions were clear, and the glint in her hand was unmistakably a knife. Without a word, he turned and sprinted back to his car. As he drove away, rain splattering against the windshield, he could feel her eyes on him, her presence like a lingering specter. He glanced at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see her chasing after him, but the road behind was empty. Breathing a sigh of relief, he focused on getting back to the pizzeria. He was ready to put the bizarre encounter behind him, but just as he thought he was safe, his car sputtered and died in the middle of the forest. Panic set in as Daniel realized he was stranded in the very place he had been desperate to escape. He grabbed his phone, hoping for a signal, but the screen remained stubbornly blank. With no other option, he stepped out of the car and started walking, the rain soaking through his clothes. Hours seemed to stretch into eternity as he stumbled through the forest, disoriented and exhausted. Every rustling leaf, every distant sound made him jump, his imagination running wild with the woman's sinister intent by some members of the Secret Service. Finally, just when despair was threatening to consume him, he saw a faint glow in the distance. Relief washed over him as he approached a small cabin, its windows warmly lit. He knocked on the door, his heart pounding in his chest. A kindly elderly couple answered, their faces filled with concern as they saw his state. They invited him in, offering him dry clothes and a hot cup of tea. As he sat by the fireplace, the couple listened intently to his story, their expressions growing grave. "I've heard rumors of strange happenings in these woods," the old man said, his voice heavy with worry. "People disappearing, sightings of a woman who seems to be more than human." Daniel's blood ran cold as he realized his encounter was not an isolated incident. The old woman placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "You're safe here, dear. We'll call the police and make sure you get back home." As the police arrived and took his statement, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that the woman from the cabin was still out there, her dark intentions lurking in the shadows. He left Crestwood the next day, vowing never to return to the forest that had nearly claimed his life. Years passed, but the memory of that night remained etched into Daniel's mind. He often wondered if the woman was real or a product of his imagination, a manifestation of the darkness that could lurk within even the most serene places. And though he left the forest behind, he carried its secrets with him, a reminder that sometimes the most chilling horrors are the ones that hide just beyond the edges of our reality.